So I basically couldn't move after the surgery, right? Like I'm stuck in the bed.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for, in the morning they come in and they give me all of the meds and yada, yada, yada. And I get up and take a piss in one of the big jugs and put the jug down. And the lady comes in and she's like, oh, like, here, do you want this food or this? And I was like, yeah, I'll get that one, thanks. And then I was like, oh, also, sorry, could you just take this for me? I didn't know that there was separate. I just thought she was a nurse, right? And I was like, oh, could you take this for me? And she's like, oh, yeah, what? She picks it up and she's like, oh, what is it? And I was like, oh, I'm pissed in it. And she's like, oh, and she puts it back. She's like, oh, no, like, I'm working the cafeteria.
Lunch lady.
That's not my job. I was like, sorry. Sorry about that.
All right, what's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Barflies podcast, episode 76 today, joined always by my good friend and comrade, Alexander Russell, and today's special guest, Tully Moffat.
Good day, gentlemen. How are you?
Yes. Glad to have you on, mate. We've been keen to have you on, along with a couple of other people, but we finally some schedules aligned. Fortunately, but unfortunately for you, seeing as though you've just had some shoulder surgery, so we've been able to pin you down and get you on here.
Yeah. Look, I think since I've had the surgery, I was fully expecting I'd be back in action straight away. Because my left shoulder, I've done that eons ago, 10 times.
Eons ago.
Eons, mate.
Good description.
Well, because I think I've dislocated it like 5 or 6 times, and then literally I dislocated it 2 weeks before I got surgery on my right. And
That's
so
hectic.
I thought, I'd be back in action in a week, but the pain has been serious, a lot worse.
So your right one's been your bad one? Is
No,
that the
my-
one you've been waiting to get surgery on?
No, so my left has been the bad one.
And then you did your right, and then that became the more urgent surgery.
All right, this is going to sound so dumb. I have dislocated my left like 5 times, 6 times.
Yeah.
Right, I've never had an issue with.
Yeah.
And in the cricket season, the most recent one, just randomly it started hurting a little bit. Not bad pain. And then it just wouldn't go away. After like months, I was like, screw it, I'll get a MRI.
Yeah.
Checked it out and little tear. And because it's my right, it's like if I want to go and play cricket in the UK.
Yeah.
So if I want to go and do that and bowl and throw, I need to get it done on my right.
Yeah,
but my
okay.
left is a lot worse.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and then I literally dislocated my left like 2 weeks before I got surgery on my right.
That's
so
hectic.
I was thinking I am going to be in a world of strife in two slings, but my left healed very quickly, which is nice.
And then we're at the pub on Sunday, and you were saying that when you were getting the surgery, they found extra things wrong with your shoulder. It wasn't just like they went in there and they went, oh, sweet, just like the one and done. It was like, oh, you actually had a couple also mini tears in your shoulder.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was like a thing that they would do, but they just did a full search of my shoulder.
Right.
they checked out the whole, because the tear was in the front that they knew of, and there was another tear in the back that they didn't know of.
Right.
So apparently surgeons, when you're under, they're like, oh, may as well just
Might as well
check
have
the
a
rest, check the
have a
rest
look
of it
under
out.
the hood while we're here.
Yeah. Well, you may as well while you're there, I suppose. What'd you guys do on Sunday? You guys were at the pub?
We did. We went to it was Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Oh,
Was it Saturday?
no, Sunday. Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Easter Sunday.
Great night.
That was a fun night actually. We Turner, Tully, myself, and Isaac went down to the Great Harbour Bolo.
Nice.
Watched the footy. Had a couple jugs of beer. Tully was kind of just spectating.
Sober, mate.
He was sober.
Did that hurt you?
It sucks because I'm on these tablets that are like, it's like heroin tablets. They're like opioids. So.
Yeah, right.
And so I was just sitting there, just laughing along while the boys got a little silly.
We got progressively more sloshed.
Yeah, nice.
We were getting jugs as well. And it was at your favourite venue, Harbour Bolo. And so we were there. We were just watching the footy, just kind of just hanging out. Really, not really doing anything too crazy. Small punt club, medium levels of success.
Huge success.
We then went into Manly, and you know what? Isaac showed me and Turner and I a drink that I had not had before. I've now tasted, and they are bloody delicious. Have you ever had a baby Guinness?
No.
Have you had a baby Guinness
I've
before?
never had one. Isaac's been banging on about it.
My God. Awesome.
What are they?
It's Kahlua and Bailey's. So it's pretty much, maybe almost a full shot of Kahlua. And then so it's probably a shot of Kahlua and then you do half a shot of Bailey's. Okay. And it just looks like a small Guinness. Because the Bailey's gives it the creamy top. And then the Kahlua is the black. And it tastes awesome. Yeah. We did a couple rounds of those.
I'd love that.
Yeah, you would love that actually.
Because it's like the coffee liqueur. With
Yeah.
The milky,
And we did it. We did a round, and then these people who I'm pretty sure was on a date, where
were you?
In situ at this point.
Oh yeah.
The boys hit the circuit.
Yeah.
Into in situ,
Yeah,
and these people came up to our table and asked us what they were. So that's how you know you've ordered the right thing. If some people are doing that.
Nice.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Really? It's happened to me a couple
I mean,
times.
I don't really. No one's gonna come up and ask you what beer you've got.
Yeah, dude, that beer looks
so
fucking
good.
insane.
Hazy or something?
Yeah, cocktail. You'd do it for maybe a cocktail.
Yeah.
If you walk past someone and you saw something that looked absolutely divine, delicious, refreshing.
I'm one to at a restaurant if I see a meal that looks tasty as, and it's like a new restaurant that you've never been to.
Yeah,
just a tap on the shoulder.
What's that?
Yeah.
Order the waiter. What's that? What's that over there?
Take it.
Yeah. Hey mate, do you mind if I don't know you, but can I just have some off your plate, please?
How's your weekend? We got a couple of recaps together.
We got 3 people's worth of recaps. Hold on, I'm just gonna do this so that everyone can see. Okay. My weekend was good. I spent the first 3 days of it working. Easter Sunday with Mum, and then Easter Monday just chilling at home. Played Monopoly last night, so that was good. You know how I'm always talking about how people ask me for directions?
Yeah.
Okay? So this happens a lot. Tully, I don't know if you're aware of this. Actually, you listen to the pod sometimes. You may be aware of this, that I get asked semi-regularly. Like, it happened during the week as well. And I messaged Kody. It was in DY. Someone asked me for directions. It's kind of leveled up now. It's leveled up. I was driving to Palm Beach for work on Friday morning, and I stop at Avalon Service, the Shell at Avalon, get some petrol. And as I'm filling up, I'm kind of looking around. This guy, he's got his older bloke, probably like 55 or something. He's got some shopping bags, some milk, bread, whatever. Comes up to me, he goes, "Hey, mate." I go, "Hey." And he goes, and this is at about 7 o'clock in the morning. He goes, "Are you driving up to Palmy?" I was going, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Can I have a lift?" And I just kind of went, "Oh, I guess so. Yeah, sure." So anyway, I pay for the petrol, come back out, get in the car. He goes, "Oh, thanks, mate." Like blah blah blah, and then he proceeds to talk the whole way there. I didn't get a word in. I did not get a word. I was just like, "Holy fuck, I'm kind of regretting this decision now," because he was just yapping my ear off. Yeah. But he was just talking about how he lost his license, and he could have told me this story in about 3 seconds, but he took 10 minutes to do it. And pretty much in essence, he got caught 4 times in 3 weeks on his mobile phone while driving. And as he's getting, he's like, "Hey, mate, well, nice to meet you. Appreciate that. And don't go on your phone while you drive." And cheers. Thanks. I got that. I gathered that was the moral of the story. But yeah, strange, huh?
That is bizarre.
So now I'm thinking, if I want to monetize this, because I'm getting asked for directions and now I'm giving people lifts.
Flip the switch.
I got to become an Uber driver. That's the only kind of way for me to go. Or taxi driver.
I think you could monetize it better, maybe. I don't
Or
know.
maybe a tour guide or something. Yeah.
Tour guide.
Something involving that kind of.
How are you just that approachable?
I don't know.
Where was it?
In Avalon.
No, where did he so he had his bags.
His groceries, yeah.
So how did he get there?
I don't know. Probably just caught the bus. Probably just caught the 199 or hitchhiked off someone else.
That is hilarious that he just Like, at what point in your life do you go, oh, screw it, I'm just going to ask this random person if
Yeah.
they're going the exact direction that I
Yeah. Just like,
Maybe
I don't get it. I just think it's leveled up. It's leveled up.
Avalon is a bizarre part of the world.
Yeah,
in
it's
fairness.
the bubble up there. But it was, strange things that are happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you take that to the next level. Maybe you wear like a t-shirt that says "looking for directions,"
Yeah.
and then I don't know,
I can help.
maybe a price list on the back. Or something.
Yeah. I should acquire favors from people for them, asking me for these things.
Yeah, make
'Cause
it a
that
two-way
guy-
trade.
Because I should have went to that guy, what have you got in the grocery bags? Give me something.
Yeah.
You give
I
me.
do it for like a muesli bar and a yogurt.
Yeah, like you got a couple of rice crackers or some cans of tuna in there, mate. And I'm over. I'm pretty sure you had some sourdough bread in there.
That would've been
Easter
nice.
eggs? Could have had Easter eggs.
Could have had Easter eggs.
Were you going to work?
Yeah, I was going to Patonga, so I was going up there.
Is that work? Like, how much are you getting paid up there?
Well, it was double. It was double rates.
Oh, yeah.
And then they pay you to get the ferry across and back.
Okay, that's true.
And that is half an hour, which pretty much as long as it takes me to drive up there anyway.
Yeah.
So then on the ferry, I'm just kind of, I might try and have a nap. I got my phone, watch the Prem, watch footy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So
You're getting paid to sit
You're
there.
getting paid to travel pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it. It was, it's not too bad. It's just like, obviously it feels like a very long way to go, but it's worth it for the pay.
Do you know what I find is bizarre about Easter?
What?
That Woolies is closed.
Is Coles closed as well?
Yeah, they're
Is
all
it?
closed. The whole Marrickville Metro was closed on Easter Friday.
Yeah, Good Friday.
Friday, everything's closed.
Yeah.
The pubs are open.
Yeah,
Are they?
but that's
Oh,
because
you
like
couldn't
how-
sell alcohol on
No.
Friday.
No
Pubs-
takeaways, no
all the
takeaways.
pubs are open. I'm like, how is the pub open?
Because
but
people go
Woolies is closed.
out.
No, I get that, but I'm just like in my mind. Surely, like when you think about Christmas, yeah, like Woolies is the last thing to close. Like it's open
Yeah.
till the very end.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like I'm confused that I like the whole shopping center was locked. Like I drove up to the top car park, I couldn't get in the shopping center.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I just thought it was a bit bizarre.
I never know what's open and closed in those days. You just kind of hit and hope.
Yeah, you just go.
And
you
if it's
hope-
open, it's open.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your day off. I need to get groceries done.
True.
I had no food.
Just go to Woolies Metro. Go to like the little
They were all closed.
service stations.
All of them.
Really?
Well,
I don't
that
know about
was-
servos, but
We took a risk, and this is, you might know, Upper Crust?
yeah.
So we drove past Upper Crust, saw it was open when we picked up Xander, and Isaac vouches that Cherries in Harbord is better than Upper Crust.
Mm.
And we had to make the decision, do we stop at Upper Crust or risk going to Cherries?
Where's Cherries?
Cherries is on that set of shops in Harbord as you're going down Harbord Road. And if you're
Okay.
going left, you'd be at Harbord Oval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I've
open.
been there.
Where the really
I've been
cheap
there.
service station
Yeah,
is.
I've been there.
Yeah.
There's a
It was-
bottle and stuff there.
Yeah.
And it was open. So
Correct.
good job, Isaac. Well done.
Is
Yeah.
it better than Upper Crust?
I don't know, but we got
It
the
was
chili
yummy.
beef one. It was
Yum,
fucking-
yummy,
it was
yum.
pretty good, mate. I rated it very highly. Would recommend a lot of Harbord activity in this Easter long weekend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a good time. One thing I noticed though when I was at work, a lot of people bring their dogs out. Obviously, they go for a walk around. They take their dog with them. Pretty standard practice. And then obviously, if you've got a pretty cute dog, people are going to want up and pat it. But also, unaware to many people, a lot of dogs have social anxiety.
Yeah, I actually didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Why the hell would you take a dog with social anxiety to a cafe or a public busy place? You wouldn't take a person with social anxiety out there.
No,
Why would you take a dog?
that's bizarre.
I literally saw a kid go up to pat this thing, and the lady literally was like, "No, no, 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 no! Don't pat him! Don't pat him! Don't pat him!" And this dog was like getting ready to fucking go at this kid. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I was just like, because obviously the dog would be going, "Oh, awesome! Like I'm gonna go for a walk today," and then they get in the car and they're like, "Wait a second, this is the dog park," and they pull up to a fucking cafe restaurant and they're going, "Oh no!"
And they're just teased as well. They're just sitting there. Dogs just want food.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there looking
Yeah.
at the food.
Yeah.
They don't get a walk.
They
They
don't-
just they just get a drive to sit and watch other people eat food and be scared of the other kids walking
Yeah.
around.
And just be freaked out the whole time.
Do you ever, as a dog owner, do you have a dog as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys, as dog owners, take your dogs to like
I don't.
cafes?
I had
What's the
before.
benefit of a dog going to a cafe for the dog?
I
Unless you go
think-
for a swim up.
Unless you're just like taking the dog, unless you got to walk a little bit to get to the cafe, like, it depends where the locate. Like Ziggy, if I'm walking up to narrowing the shops when I live there, I would take him sometimes.
Yeah, but you're probably just stopping.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
there for 2
yeah,
minutes and then I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my dog is like legitimately obsessed with food.
Yeah.
So he will, if there was enough food on the ground, he would eat himself to death. And so, like, when you take him to, he gets really distressed that you don't give him any food, and then he'll start barking and stuff. So you actually can't take my dog.
Yeah, fair.
Ziggy got high the other day.
He got high.
Well, not high, but what happened was at Dad's property, because there's cane toads there, and they kind of venomous to dogs and whatnot, and he somehow managed to get one in his mouth, but then he dropped it or whatever. I can't really remember what happened in that fact of the story, but it didn't release the full venom, but he still got the kind of coating of it, and apparently he was walking around like banging into stuff, and Dad was like, he looked like he was just tripping balls, or like
Yeah,
really
right.
high, walking around
It's
for
like-
like the full day.
Yeah.
Hypnotoad from Futurama.
Yeah, literally. He licked Hypnotoad and he was cooked, mate. He was cooked.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, he looked like half of Pitch. No. Nah.
Or maybe not get into that.
Yeah, we're going to move on.
How's my weekend?
Yeah, how was your weekend? Yours sounded pretty
Going,
awesome.
Kody.
to be fair.
We got a bye weekend. I had an actual jam-packed weekend in the end. Friday night, just hit the pub at like midday, maybe 1. Where were you on Friday, by the way? Were you on the beaches? Were you at the beaches?
Yeah,
at
yeah.
night?
I've been. I'm.
We
living
watched
in
the footy on
beaches.
Friday night.
True. Yeah. We were. We just went to BBH, and like midday, and then that kind of ended up.
You went to where?
BBH, Botany View.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah, not local.
In a West Lingo, mate. You get there.
Sorry about that.
And then that kind of rolled into Bad Friday because Mac and Knife were playing at Music House and Booze, like just up the road. And Devo was like, I'll put you on the door. I was like, all right, I'm in. I'll come.
As in you work the door?
No, as in he'll put my name on. I say, hey.
VIP?
Yeah, VIP, mate.
VIP?
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Wow.
It's not really a big deal.
Wow.
That was actually unreal. I had a great time. All the bands that played were awesome.
What kind of music? Was it just the same kind of music as Mac the Knife?
No. Mac and Knife played. They were like punk. And then I forget the band that played after were. They were kind of like you know, bands that have like tambourines and stuff in them. And they're all just kind of look like they're having heaps of fun up there.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Like that kind of 14-piece band you showed me from around here.
Yeah,
Like
Red
that
Shed,
disco
yeah.
funk
Yeah,
on,
it's almost
yeah.
like disco, kind of like just pop. I don't even
Right.
know what you would call it.
Just
like indie
vibes,
rock
mate.
pop.
Just,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just vibe. Yeah, literally.
just vibing.
And then like
What do
the
you play?
Yeah.
and then the main guy played. And like, have you been there? Have you been to Music House and Booze?
No.
Like the band room was absolutely packed for this last guy. His name's Dante, and he plays like really like it's almost like ethereal
Cool name.
rap. I don't even know what you would call it. It's like very like synthy and just like almost like beautiful music. I don't even know how you would really describe it, but great
Beautiful
time
rap.
nonetheless.
Mm.
Saturday rolls around. I was actually out with Jodes on Friday night, and she was like, "Oh," because I mentioned that my cousin's partner, who plays for Port Adelaide in the AFL, Flex,
Name drop?
Illyria, he was playing in Sydney because they were playing the Swans.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin was like, "Oh, we got spare tickets if you want to come." And I was like, "Oh, I'm working. I'd love to though." And I mentioned it to Jodes on Friday, and she was like, "Oh, I'll take your shift.
Oh,
Like I can do it."
what
I
a
can do it."
legend.
Yeah.
What a legend.
So Jodes, out of nowhere, saved me and got to go to the footy on Saturday night. First AFL game.
You've ever been to?
Yeah.
What did you think?
First AFL
Really?
game.
How's the crowd at the
Dude,
SCG? Was
really
it
good.
pop? Was it busy?
It was like,
They get
yeah, the whole stadium felt full, but like felt like maybe 75% capacity.
It's pretty good.
Like, you know how you can kind of see the crowd and there's like lots of seats in the crowd, but the crowd still looks full.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So,
AFL Live, I reckon, is one of the best. Or like
Yeah, it's awesome
compared
to
to on like watching it on TV is so much better.
Yeah.
Because you can watch like in the back play where the ball isn't, you'll just like see a bunch of guys having a fight or like
Yeah.
pushing and shoving. Like
Yeah.
there's so much going on not where the ball
I'm
is.
on an
compared to other
extension of
sports.
that. I would never sit down and watch a game of ice hockey, but I would definitely go and watch a game of ice hockey because I reckon it'd be sick just to watch them just fucking beefing the whole time,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
smashing each other.
Well, that's the thing with league. Like, it's almost arguably better to watch on TV
Mm.
Yeah.
because you're just following the ruck the whole time.
Yeah.
As fun as it is to go to the game. But like the whole crowd at the AFL, like they're not singing songs per se, but like they're just all involved and they're all active. Like I don't know, it's not like they're all like when you're at the footy. Sometimes you feel like everyone's kind of just talking to their mates. It's like a little bit quiet at times. Like the AFL, like everyone's like banging the seats and like clapping the whole time. And mate, it's all going on.
Got a bit more of an atmosphere.
Feels
Totally.
a bit more like
Totally.
Aussie culture-y than
Yeah.
NRL as much as I love NRL.
True.
I feel like
More like how the Premier League is in Scotland, England,
Yeah,
and like how football is in Europe.
yeah.
Mm. I would agree. Yeah.
So
And then bio reports, you got to head into the sheds. Is that true?
Yeah, went into the sheds.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Did you? And you went with Kate as well.
Yeah, Kate
Yeah.
came too. So it was like my uncle, my cousin.
I know you guys have been going out for a while, but it's still like a bit of a flex for you to be like, yeah, I know people. I know professional sports.
Yeah, I
You
know,
know,
I know.
yeah.
Well, that was the first time I'd actually met it. That was the first time I'd met Aaliyah.
Right.
So that was cool. Just kept being and like because the Swans Port game's like back and forth. And as we were just discussing, Port like won it on the bell essentially. Or Swans had a chance to win it on the bell and they didn't get up.
And he came up with the game-winning play as well.
Aaliyah made the game-winning play, which was cool.
Former Swans player also.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So that was pretty sick. And then he won a TV somehow.
He won for like a play of the game.
We
I
don't
think.
know. We were walking down to the sheds and like Sabina found out she's his partner. And she was like, oh, he just won a TV.
do you know what TV? How big we talking?
It was like a I don't know. It was a good TV. Put it this way. It was like an awesome TV.
Not as good
What
as
do
the
you-
TV that you probably have at your house now that Ed lives there.
We have two massive TVs.
How
One of
good is the
them's
mega
broken.
TV? Oh,
One of them broke.
The mega TV.
The Mega TV
No.
broke, and so we're using the still, I would say, giant TV, but not quite mega. But yeah,
Are you
Have
getting
you-
the other one fixed?
we've been in talks to fix it for the best part of 3 months. Jacob and Ed are, back and forthing, but
About whether to actually do it or not?
no, just saying, yeah, all right, this weekend. It's happening.
Right.
This
Right.
weekend's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to get done at some stage.
Eventually. The TV's too good to not. It's just sitting in the house.
For context, mega TV or mega TVs, there's one 85-inch TV and then there's a 55 or 65-inch TV. The 85, and they're side to side, and they're Ed's. They had them at their old house on the beaches, and now their new place in Erskineville, they have it.
Yeah.
And it just watching a movie and or footy or PS4 or whatever is just infamous.
Infinitely?
Infinitely better. That was the word I was looking for. It is, just an experience.
Well, and
really.
I'll tell you what else. When
feel
Ed
spoiled.
moved in and he bought the big TV, there's this big gap under the TV, right? And the volume from the TV isn't that great. And I was like, Ed's bringing the massive TV. I need to do my part. Bought a brand new soundbar.
Nice.
Mate, you turn on KO, and it goes ding ding.
Oh,
The
that
bass
actually
is
that
like-
actually gets me toey. You know what? Someone was using. I was on break at work. Busy shift. Get just a small amount of time to have something to eat because I was doing team leading on the shift. Small time to have something to eat and maybe watch. One of the KO minis. Catch up. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I log on. I get 2 minutes in. Someone is using my KO account. Someone somehow got the login. And it goes, there are too many active streams. So then I quickly got rid of the stream and I went to the accounts and then I deleted all the other accounts. And so now I just have mine and then it fixed.
Do you know who was on it?
I don't know.
Have you given? You don't give your KO out though, do you?
I know there's 2 people I've given it to
Right.
ever. And then, so I don't know what they've done with it, but
Because I believe I asked you at some point and I got a hard no.
yeah. I think, yeah. I
Best
gave it to my
mates.
sister once and then she gave it to someone else. So she's been taken off. And then I think I gave it to, yeah. And so she was gone. She's gone. Her name, she made her account name was Clit Finder on KO.
Nice.
That's what she did. So very nice, Ailey. So it's nice to have gotten rid of
Yeah.
that as well.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels good that
clean.
it feels like it's nice not to look at that. And then I don't know who the other, maybe it was Ryan was the other one. But anyway, KO is now back in my possession.
We should watch Origin at Flora.
Awesome.
Okay.
No opposition to that.
No
at all.
qualms.
Literally
No qualms.
using the big TV with the sound bar. Watching a movie, it's next level.
Yeah.
And it's got its own sub, mate. It's
That actually
Atmos for
sounds
any
incredible.
what would you call it? People who care about sound bars. Atmos is the thing. It bounces off the roof, apparently. Bounces off the roof. You get full 360
Wow.
volume.
Well, Blav just bought one as well, apparently.
Because
Because he also got a brand new TV, and he was like, I should get a sound.
yeah, he's been over and he's been impressed. So
It
that's
doesn't
what's
show-
happened.
A man of Blav's caliber would be impressed by a soundbar.
He's only human, to be fair. Now, very well covered in podcasts, many episodes. SPG, we've discussed it a lot. We've both been, of course, Kody missed the one with COVID, etc. We've covered that well. I was just giving some context, But Tully is kind of the person who organises these events, and there is a couple others that also do help you out. But we were going to ask you a couple questions about this, like what goes into organising it, and even because before SPG, you had the Fripp stuff.
Yep.
So do you just want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. So the first thing that we did, Ryan and I.
Ryan of Pub Roaches fame, for context.
Yeah.
Yes, Pub Roaches.
He's
fame.
got his mitts all over this place.
Yeah. He lives rent-free on this podcast.
He and I started running events. It was sort of one of those things where our whole group had got into DJing for a while. We were all into going to festivals and whatnot. And, we wanted to go and play at clubs. And a few people wanted to play at clubs, but we couldn't really figure out how to get in there. And eventually Ryan and I one night were like, we should just email or call one of the places. So we called up the Burdekin. The owner was like, yeah, come in, we'll have a chat. Had a quick chat for 5-10 minutes. We thought it was going to be a big process of we got to pay this and we got to do that and yada, yada. He was literally like, yeah, top room's yours, just as long as you make $3,000 on the bar. Like, it's all yours.
Sick. So
that's 300 drinks.
Essentially, yeah. They actually were also good at, they gave us a 3-hour happy hour for $5 drinks for the start. So that was like a good selling point for our first couple of events.
So what, did you literally just go there and you're like, hey, I know this is just me and my mate, but we want to put it on an event. Can we do it? And they were like, yeah. Yeah,
we basically said, look, we know a bunch of people who are DJs. They'll bring their friends, even though they were all just our mates.
Yeah.
They'll bring their friends, we'll do this and that. And he was like, yeah, look, the top floor is sort of reserved for testing stuff out. And it's, 200 capacity or however many, I can't remember. And yeah, you basically said, as long as you get that, it's no cost to you. It is a risk though. If you don't get that, then you have to pay the difference in the $3,000.
Yeah.
So say you only do $1,500 on the bar, then they will charge you $1,500.
$1,500.
But we had, we did the events free at the start. So normally the way that it works is, you charge $10 or whatever, and then you get the money at the door and then you don't have to pay anything else. But they were nice enough that they said after $3,000, we'll give you 10% of the bar. So the first few events, we made a couple $100.
So you cleared the $3,000 pretty easily?
Yeah, $3,000's not
It's not
that
heaps.
much.
It's not heaps.
But at the same time, we're completely trusting their word on how much we were spending. Like we didn't have any,
metric
vision of that.
measure
So
it, yeah.
they sort of were like, oh yeah, you guys made like $300 or something. Like we could have done $10,000 on the bar. I have no idea. So, but obviously this was all just for fun. So we did that for a while. Did a few different events here and there. They were going really well at the start. Everyone was keen to get around it. And we learnt a lot doing it. So I think as a pretense to SPG, Frips was like 100% necessary because we learnt so much stuff that we were able to use in SPG, which we'll go into later. But I don't know. It definitely sort of toward the end of our Frips career was died off a little.
Yeah, but that is also COVID started happening then as well.
Yeah,
which kind of fucked it.
We had we had Frips, which started running. We were running events too often. People who were our mates were like, it was oversaturated. People were like, oh, if I don't go to this one, I can go to the next one. And then when you have that mindset, then it becomes like you just never go.
Yeah.
Oh, I can just go to the next one. I can go to the next one. And so then it started becoming, we were reaching out to randoms, and then it sort of drifted away from us running our mates, and it became that. And so we eventually were like, screw it, we want to come back and do something in Manly. Our main goal forever was to do something in Manly. And we got approached by some guy who asked us if we wanted to do like a combined partnership with like their collective and ours and make Tropics. And we made one that ran events at Tropicana. And the event went really, really well. And then after the first event, he literally went, oh, look, I've actually just started a new job, so I'm just going to stop, but you can keep doing it. Yeah. So Ryan and I ran Tropics in Manly for a while. And we started running an event every Tuesday, which was going off. Mate,
that was going off, I remember. Yeah.
We stole the Shark Bar Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were going really, really well. We were making a good amount of money. Like each event would be making about $1,000.
Yeah.
And it was all in cash.
Sick.
So that was hectic.
So just before you go, like this guy who approached you about taking over in Manly.
Yeah.
Did he approach you from what you'd done with Frips? Was he someone our age? Like, how did he come in contact with you?
Yeah, so he was our age. He had a very similar thing to us, but he was from the North Shore.
Yeah.
So he had a similar brand to us. I know that his brand was a lot more successful than ours, than Frips had become. Frips had definitely sort of taken a turn where our events weren't doing very well. So that's another reason why we wanted to shift into Manly, because it was closer. And then when he said that, we were like, oh, that's perfect. Like, we'll give that a crack. And from Tropics, Frips fell right off. So we stopped really doing that. And as you said, COVID became a thing, which really put the brakes on. Like, we ran, I think, 5 or 6 of these. We called them Tropicana Tuesdays. And it was 18-year-old central. It was classic. But we had, like, everyone in Manly on Tuesday. We had lines, like huge lines out the door. People like super keen to get in. Occasionally people would be, because I was like somehow the bouncer, which is kind of funny. Like I would be standing at the front and like doing all the checks and stuff, because I'm not doing anything on the night anyway. And like checking people's IDs, and people are so desperate to get in, and the big bouncer would be like, no. And then people would come up to me and be like, oh dude, like if I give you like $50, can I come in? And I'd be like, yep. Give me $50, go. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you're in there. So, like, obviously it's the bouncer's job to not let him in, but if he reckons he's too drunk, if he's drunk enough to give me $50 and the bouncer's not looking at it, go on, mate. So we had a few of those. Like, it was good fun. We were running those events a lot. We had like, we were getting like Alex Hayes and a few like semi-influencer people in. Yeah. And Tropicana was like blowing up on Tuesdays. And then
was it ever like overwhelming at any points? Were you ever like, oh my God, there is so many people here, I feel out of my depth? Or were you always kind of just like, whatever?
Yeah, no, it was pretty like, it was classic. We were like, Ryan and I sort of ran the show there. Like we had full reign on, I could just go up to the bar and be like all the bartenders knew us. They'd just give us free drinks whenever. So we could give out free drinks.
Can I just interject here? I was going there with like Tully and Ryan. It was great because you would not pay for a drink, and you would get cocktail drugs. They would just make it for you, and then you'd bring it over and put it on the table. It was awesome.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, there was a golden period for a good couple months.
Yeah, there definitely was.
And then COVID hit, which was really annoying because this was sort of our first, like after doing it for probably a year or two, it was our first like smash hit, and it's a weekly thing, and like this is going to be like good money coming in. It's sort of like a side hustle. And then that, sort of hit the brakes, stopped doing that. And we did a lot of stuff over the COVID trying to keep our name out there. But we sort of got exhausted, and I decided I wanted to get a new job working 9 to 5, and Ryan was doing uni. And
what were you guys doing at the time for work?
I was just, to be honest, it was like when I just had enough energy to do it. Like I was still doing, there was a stage when I was a PT, I was working in childcare. I was working as a groundsman and also doing the
remember
tropic
that.
stuff. I was saving up for Europe, and
Yeah,
I was
right.
working like 12 plus hours a day.
Yeah, right.
And it was whack. But then COVID hit, and it kind of was like, oh, actually, I shouldn't be doing that. Like,
Yeah.
you need to chill out. So,
Yeah.
but I think, it was good. Like, we did this like live streaming stuff, which was good fun because over COVID it gave us something to do. When
And
it
like
was,
your friends could watch, and
Yeah.
that was when you could have. I remember because I think I was in one, but you could only have 5 people at your house at that point, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you would go there to just like get silly with like 5 of your mates, and then do some stupid live stream.
Yeah,
and, You know, it was just a good laugh.
Yeah, it was good fun. You get like 20 viewers or something.
Yeah.
At any given time, but you wouldn't. It was like just doing it for fun.
Just for lols, yeah.
And then, basically we finished, COVID came out. During COVID, the guys who ran Tropicana opened the label, which personally not my vibe.
No.
But
The guys who ran Tropicana, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
So-
I always think what you said about it is kind of so true about where the stage is.
yes,
That is so, and then my also query with it is the bar in that place is
Is
tiny.
label still kicking?
I don't know. I've
it
not been
is,
in there
but
for a
they
while.
run like they run events in like the small part of it. So because they don't get enough people, so
Right.
like they have this huge open. For context, they've got this huge open hall. Sort of, if you know Printworks, anyone out there? It's this long warehouse hall, probably 20 meters wide and like 70 meters long.
That's big.
It's massive.
Yeah.
But instead of having the DJ decks right at the end, so you walk in and you're at the back, and then you're sort of walking 70 meters towards the front, they have the DJ decks on the side, on the left. And so if it's not completely packed, it just feels empty because
it looks so
on your
empty.
right is empty, on your left is empty. Whereas if it's right at the back, you've only got behind you that's going to be empty. So
Yeah.
at least it will feel a bit busier. But yeah, they're doing events like in the car park, and they have this side room
At the
and they
bottom,
just
that
do
bottom room.
that.
It's a bit seshy at the bottom, but it's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
horrible.
Look, I think in theory, label, great idea. In
It
practice,
sounded unreal when
Yeah,
like, we were hearing
the
it, like,
promise,
oh,
the promise
yeah.
of it was massive. Now, Frips. Moving on from all the Fripp stuff to more things that we're doing today. So SPG,
yes.
tell us
SPG.
about that. Now, how did we get onto SPG from Frips? Like, what happened? What was the
Okay.
next step?
So when I started Frips, my sort of goal in life, and which is like a bucket list tick off, was to run a festival. So I've always had that.
Yeah.
And basically, over COVID, had like a good amount of time to sort of think about what I was going to do, and just basically organized all of that. There's a long backstory to how I managed to find a place and the whole organizational process of it. But originally, like sort of the short version was the place that we found is an awesome spot. Like the new spot that we have is awesome, and
It's epic.
it's perfect for the amount of people we have because sort of small enough that it feels busy, but big enough that you can do whatever you want there.
And you've got room to add like 300 people there.
Yeah,
Easily.
100%. And so we essentially, the first place I booked, I found on Airbnb. It was this big flat open area. Went to the spot. It was just a huge open field essentially, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. In hindsight, definitely wouldn't have been perfect because it just would have been. There's just too much space. It just would have been a big open space.
Yeah.
And basically went there, met the guy. He was all about it. Keen to run something. No real back check. He was like, yeah, just have an event here. All good. Just pay me X amount per person. And we organized the whole thing. And then COVID hit the Northern Beaches.
Yeah.
And
That was such a
so it was
stitch
only the beaches. So it was only about, like a small portion of the population weren't able to do stuff. But we obviously had a big portion of the SPG crowd were from the Northern Beaches. So we basically, I said to the guy, look, let's change it to end of January because it was going to be over New Year's, end of January. And he said, yeah, all good. Just like, let me know when you've like fully locked that in. I went away, changed all of the rental things, changed everything to be across that date. And about a week before, I messaged the guy and said, hey mate, just confirming that we're all good to go for next week. And he came back and was like, like you never confirmed it. So I've like booked it out. And I was like,
Edge.
yeah. I was like, and my heart just sank. I was like so freaked out. And I was like, are you like, well, no, well, like I thought we said it. I went back through the messages and he did actually say like, hey, can you like, I gave him the date and he said, can you please like confirm it? And I was like, yeah, I'll let you know. And I didn't. I changed everything, but I didn't let him know.
Yeah.
And he sort of, helped me find a new place just around the corner where out there is, a half an hour drive. But he helped me find this new guy. And the new guy was asking questions that I'd never thought about. He was like, insurance and, fire safety. Have you got safety protocol, yada, yada, which obviously in hindsight is like, oh, yes, we need that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the first guy just didn't really care about that. So, basically like got all that sorted, quick, smart, like literally had 4 days to get it sorted and then get to his place. Yeah. And when we got to the spot, the grass was overgrown. I'm not kidding you. It was about up to head height.
I remember
like
that.
It was,
I got out
of,
it was thick.
Yeah, literally. I got out of the car and was like, there is no way we are hosting a festival here in 2 days.
Yeah.
Fortunately, had a few of the boys, Angus, Nathan, like Amelia and Kiana were there as well. And we literally had hand lawnmowers and whippersnippers and just spent 2 days straight knocking it down. Isaac was there as well.
Where's the grass going? Where were you putting it?
Dude, we just like mowed it and then you mow the grass that's been mowed again.
And then put it in those piles of it on the
piles of
side
grass?
as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there was
we had-
piles
yeah.
of it on the side as
and
well.
we had like, because if you chop up grass over and over and over, it like gets thinner and thinner, obviously.
Yeah.
But that first one was like there was just grass everywhere.
Yeah, it was just a thin. There was just a thin smattering of chopped grass.
And we were setting up the tent as people were arriving. Like we hadn't even got started on anything.
Yeah, I remember.
We had literally got the grass done by the time people were sort of supposed to be arriving.
Were you starting like at 8 in the morning and going?
Because I got
literally it was like 16 hours.
Because on that,
straight.
I got there as you guys just finished cutting the grass, and then I remember setting up the tent with everyone. And I tell you what, setting up that tent also not an easy thing to do.
Not easy. And
World's
we were
biggest
fortunate
tent.
that Isaac was there. Isaac is a king of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
If you ever go camping with Isaac, he will finish his tent. You'll have 2 people, right? He'll finish his tent and then come and do yours for you. Like he's, for some reason, just a weapon at like tent structures. So
It's so random.
Yeah.
Is
I
he
know,
like
right?
an avid camper?
yeah, well, I don't know, but he's just really good at it. And so
He's got a
like,
gift, mate. He's got a gift.
and he, so he was there. He cut his hands really badly because it's all these big ropes like tying them down.
Yeah.
But did it for the boys. Got
he
it
sure
done,
did.
and music started. Like, people were arriving. We were originally going to do the Triple J Hottest 100 over the day, and it was like we hadn't even finished cutting the grass.
Yeah.
And so that was the first one, and then the second one was a bit more like a lot of learnings from the first one.
How was the overall like response from the first one?
First one response was great, but it was ghetto. Like we had the stage was I found some pallets on the way into.
It was basic. It was very basic, and it's definitely evolved, and it evolved in the second one as well. There was definitely more added to it. There was kind of more organisation as to what was needed for the next one, etc. From what from the first one was a bit ghetto. That's a good way to describe it. And then from there, the third one, where now this year was very.
It was next level.
That was legit.
Yeah.
It's definitely elevated. As someone who's been to all 3, I feel every time I've been, it's gone.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
to the point where this one, I'm like, we've got learnings of how we can cut costs and we can use those costs elsewhere. But I'm like, this is as good as like, it's tough to think of like, oh, what can we do from here?
Yeah.
Like everything went so smoothly and it was like, it just worked really well. That, I just think that it was like all the bands, all the lights, everything that we have professionals like in Mac the Knife. There are people whose job it is to, organize lights and sound and, that stuff normally would cost you thousands of dollars. And we just have that for free.
And they're
And shout
playing.
out to
People
Johnny.
have that skill like in the group that
Yeah.
know how to do
He's
that.
the drummer, hey, Johnny? Yeah.
And he was on the grind. He'd be at the back of the stage in the middle of the night with the iPad changing the EQs and like doing this and that. And I was like, you're a weapon. Like, how good is that? But
And do you think in future because obviously this SPG, usually it's just been mostly DJs, not many live acts. There was Barley Parcel played at SPG 2.
Yeah.
But obviously this year we talked about it. There was a couple more live acts. For next year, would you be keen to add anything else to the roster? There was also yoga.
Yep.
The yoga that had a big turnout.
I couldn't believe how many people were at yoga.
There was about 45 people.
It was
Maybe
bursting
more.
out of the tent.
Yeah.
I was thinking there was going to be 3 or 4 people there.
No, it was heaps.
So the fact that there was so many, I think that is sort of like when I say a learning, that's something like people are keen to get involved with interactive stuff. So involving more stuff like that during the day, things to do. The bands were a huge hit. Everyone loved the bands. Very talented musicians as well. So any of those people listening, thank you so much. But I think the problem is like I only know so many people in bands. So as much as I'm like, I'd love to get more bands or more live acts, there is a finite amount of people that I can reach out to for free because a big premise of SPG is that obviously we don't have all the money in the world to play with. So all the bands are playing for free, all the DJs are playing for free.
Yeah.
So that's like a massive help to us.
Yeah.
But from here, there's definitely a lot to learn. I'm fortunate that we had in my house, Jared and D'Lo, who helped me a lot with the organizational process of the third one, Jesse, Kane and EJ as well. So we had a lot of minds working around it, which made it.
And on top of like artists, like you got someone like Kane, Kody's housemate, who's just released an EP that's going fantastic.
Exactly.
And he's such like a good DJ. It's like quality DJ as well.
Well, that's the thing. Like the lineup of musicians at SPG, given that it's people that we know, is unreal.
It is. It's
like,
crazy.
It's actually like
it's ridiculous.
Like it's a thing. They're literally Barley Parcel and Mac the Knife are doing an event in Marrickville in like a month.
Yeah.
And like it'll go off.
It's crazy.
And we just had that for.
We're so fortunate as well, and that they're so like willing and like able to do that. Yeah.
So,
this is a bit of a tangent, but when I worked on the Barley Parcel music, I was just helping out that day. When I was on that music video, it was the same. You were there too. It's the same thing where like we're literally looking around at this project that is just like all our mates, and like it's just a bunch of like creative people coming together to put like something like SPG or like a music video on. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. I think it's like it's fortunate because I think a big part of why Ryan and I like with the Fripp stuff, both of us are quite analytical.
Yeah.
And we're both like business minded, I suppose. So we like I would say that a part of the reason why Frips failed is because there was not enough of the like obviously the events we're running are like creative events, and having the mix of D'Lo, Jared, people who are like coming up with these cool creative ideas.
Yeah.
While I'm not necessarily that I was the only one who did it, but like organizing the trucks and organizing this and that, and like making the background stuff turn into
and then also you have people like Kody who did the mural for you, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
And that came up an absolute treat.
Yeah.
It did. A lot of photos in front of that one. It was an awesome mural.
Yeah.
Like I think as like you're saying there, like having someone like I was there for when you guys were organizing at some point, and Jared was just talking about like making big mushrooms.
Yeah.
I imagine that's something that like you don't even really have the brain capacity to think about because you've got to organize, like you say, the trucks, the stage, all that.
Yeah.
So to have those people on the side literally just being silly in essence.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like a big help.
It's perfect. Yeah.
And just quickly, we'll wrap up this and we'll move on to love and hate next. But it's been great getting into the nitty gritty of SPG. What's next for SPG? Where do you see it? What do you see it happening? Where do you see it going? What's happening?
Yeah, so that's like a contentious topic, I think, because I definitely after the second one, before the second one ran, I was saying, I'm starting a new job soon. This is going to be the last one. This is going to be the last hurrah of running events, and it got super good reception. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it again.
Well,
Run it back.
And so we did that. I got all the other guys involved, and having the other guys involved made it so much easier.
Yeah.
Because it meant with certain aspects, like I was able to palm that off to other people, and it meant that I wasn't necessarily needing to work around the clock to figure everything out. And moving forward, this year in particular, people are away. People going to Europe. I'm going to Europe. I would probably start looking at setting up next year's SPG like now-ish to the next like over the course of the year, just like getting started. And so having, a big 6-week break in the middle is kind of rough. And then also having D'Lo, going away. Jared's away right now.
And Age will be there too.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then another issue is Australia Day falls on the Saturday, sorry. So when we wanted to run it, and out of respect, we don't want to run that on the Saturday. So the normal date is going to have to change. We were fortunate enough with the public holiday last year that it fell on a good day that it allowed us time to do other stuff. But so, there's a lot of thinking around it. I think that there's a level of size that I want to get it to, and I don't want it to get it bigger. And I think about 250 is about the max, because once you get past 250, that's when you start. Security actually probably needs to be an issue. Obviously we actually we have St. John's there, but the more randoms are there, the more you sort of have to be worried. I actually don't know anything about
These people.
Yeah. Are they safe? Are they doing this and that? And then that takes away from, I want to go because I want to have the best time and I want to have the best weekend. Like, that's why I organize it.
With your best mates.
Yeah, with your best mates. And if it becomes a thing of I need to start like worrying about this, that, and the other while I'm there, and I don't get to just get, silly, then that becomes, why am I doing it? The whole point of it is so that I can have the best time with all the lads. Sure. So I think there's room to grow, but I would say there's a ceiling there, and it's not that far away. So if you get an invite, well, actually, anyone's invited, but if you can come. Yeah. And
250 people max, though.
250 max.
250.
250 max.
And if you've got a friend who is in a band or DJ, extra points for you.
Exactly.
Extra points for you. Reach out.
We will allow you to come. And mini plug SPG Fest on Instagram. Check it out. You can see all the photos and stuff and some of the goodies behind, what we're actually talking about here. So.
Yeah, we love a good plug.
No, we love a plug.
Yeah.
We love a plug. All right. Love and hate this week. Tully, do you want to start us off, mate?
Yeah.
You know how this goes. You've watched the pod.
Yeah. All right. Love. I've got two loves, actually. First one is just any type of Sugma / Ligma / Candice reference. Particularly if you manage to get someone off guard.
Yeah.
Because, look, they're just the stupidest jokes, but they just continue to be funny.
They just continue to provide the goods.
Yeah.
Was Ed the one who brought this to light again?
I'm going to claim, I think it might have been me.
Big call.
Huh?
That's a big call.
I think it might have been me.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say that Ed was banging on about Joe at Splendor.
Yes, that's what I thought.
And that was a absolute staple of Splendor was Joe / Candice / Robin.
Yeah.
any variation. And I think one of the funniest things was when we were there, and it was literally we were joking about that the entire festival. And at one point, an act ended, everyone was leaving, and someone yells out, "Has anyone seen Robin? Robin!" Because, and then if someone says, "Who's Robin?" It's like, Robin, my balls. Yeah. And someone next to them goes, "Yeah, I'm Robin. What's up?" And they go, "Oh, sorry." Don't worry about it.
That's so good.
Yeah, so I reckon those ones are they're just great. And like I've gotten people from my work with just Joe. Joe's great.
Yeah.
Joe Mama.
Yeah.
And it's like, and in a work environment, it's definitely, you're not expecting it.
Yeah, catch you off guard.
Yeah, for sure. So that's definitely one of my loves.
He kept getting me at Splendor because people kept going, "Who's playing next?" Like, "Oh, who's next?" And you just hear Ed go, "Candice."
Candice is a great one.
That's so good.
My other love is something that I've found since I've got the surgery. I've had ample free time, so YouTube has been getting a workout.
Yes,
and
Super Coach.
I have Super Coach, absolute workout, and I have found this new YouTube channel called the Lockpick Lawyer. And
What is this? This just sounds so intriguing.
and he has a serious following at that. And his following, basically what he does is people will send him locks and he just picks them.
Really?
And it's like, he will be like, so this is the, lock from blah, blah, blah. They're on the packaging, it says unpickable. So here it is. And yeah, look, it's quite a tough one. And he'll spend like 10 seconds on it and it's unlocked. And he can just unlock everything.
No
and
way.
it is so, it's like all his videos are 2 minutes, really easy watches. And it's just his hands and the lock.
Has
and
he
then
got
he
TikTok?
And you do like
I
just
don't
see
know.
it. What angle do you see him do it from? Like, as in lock. Like, so say if the lock was here, and then he's got the lockpick
It's-
tools. Do you see him maneuvering it, or you just see him talking into the camera, and then the lock and him just doing this?
No, so it's like a POV of his hands.
Right. Okay.
And
okay.
he just does it. And it is like seriously just easy time waster. And
So-
since I've had 12 hours a day to just lie on the couch and do nothing with the surgery, Lockpick Lawyer has been getting a
That sounds
serious
awesome.
rinsing.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Have you watched any rat catching vids?
No rat catching vids. for
Okay,
me.
we'll have to show you.
you.
We'll have to show you afterwards. My brother got onto them. He got onto them, and he's been watching them recently.
I do like the videos where they make like a squirrel. Have you
Maze.
seen
The squirrel
it's like-
mazes, yeah.
It's like a what's that show? Ninja Warrior. They do
Yeah.
a squirrel Ninja Warrior,
Yeah.
and they'll have like a treat at the end.
Yeah.
And the squirrels have to try and learn
Yeah.
how to beat the Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah, those are good
Another
too.
good one. Another great one.
And then your hate.
Yes, this one might come to a surprise. Scratchies.
Interesting choice.
Scratchies.
Explain.
Well, first of all, guess how my scratchy went.
Not well, I'm going to assume. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark and say you didn't win any money.
You're right.
Oh.
Well done. Good choice. And the thing about a scratchy is, look, they have all of this grandiose $50,000. You're going to win $50,000. If you've ever won a scratchy, you've not won more than $10.
No.
You haven't.
Never.
And
Yeah.
it costs $5 anyway.
Yeah.
So even if you win nothing. You would just win your money back,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
And then you lose. I mean, the concept of scratching it off is all right, but like, nah. Just not
I
it.
agree with you that like at least with the pokies, for example, at least you win occasionally.
Yeah.
Like you never really hear about anyone winning a
No.
scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Like you should win
And-
$50 every now.
I know,
then.
right? And
yeah.
I had, because my family, it's a classic grandma gift.
Yeah.
Give a couple scratchies. My family has gotten scratchies forever from our family. And I asked at Easter, I was like, have you guys ever in the time that we have, or like ever in your life, witnessed someone win more than, let's say, $20?
Yeah.
Never.
No one has
It doesn't
ever won
happen.
more than $20. It's just an absolute schmozzle.
Yeah.
Like if you throw $10 on a multi, there's at least there's somewhat of a chance that you're gonna come away
Yeah,
with
and it's
something.
way more fun. As
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Whereas scratchies, just not it.
Yeah.
There's just the novelty of the scratching.
Exactly.
I think people
and,
enjoy.
and as well as, $2 becomes less and less valuable, are the scratchies gonna go up in cost? You have
Well,
your
they should go
scratchies
up
at
in
$1,
price.
$2,
Are you saying scratchies should go up with inflation?
I would tend to say so, yeah. And they
Okay.
definitely haven't. But like the prize is like 50 grand, right? And like the lottery prize is like millions. You win millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong, 50 grand is nothing to scoff at. But like reality is the chance of you winning the 50 grand is few and far between, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
you never win even
And the
20
ticket
bucks.
cost is almost the same for the $1 million one.
Yeah.
So why? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Good one.
I got a scratchy for Easter actually, and I did win $5 on it.
Well done.
The winning prize on the scratchy I had was like, it was called Live a Life or something, and basically you get $1,000 payment for, I don't know, however, like maybe 5 years or something, and $250K.
Yeah.
Every
So you win
week.
$1,000 a week. I wonder if it's would it be tax free?
No, they're not.
They're not.
Nah, lotteries are not tax free.
And would that then cancel out my Centrelink? Would that count as an income? Would I no longer
Probably.
be able to get Centrelink if I
Nah,
win?
you'd keep
Well, it's
it
an
under
annuity.
wraps.
It's
Yeah,
an
under wraps.
annuity.
What does that mean?
It's not a perpetuity because it's not forever.
Okay. Dope.
But why would that change the tax for the
No, it
next
wouldn't.
couple of
You'd
years?
still
I just
get
mean I'd
taxed.
probably be
You'd
able to
still
get
get taxed. I'm
Centrelink.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, would I have to declare it as income?
Greedy
is what
boy,
I'm
you're getting
asking.
$1,000 a week.
Yeah, you'd have
Well,
to declare that.
That'd be awesome.
It would. I'll tell you what, that would be great.
Because then you could just chill out and you could just do whatever you want for.
Oh.
I mean, at the same time, $2,000 is not like if you're getting if you're getting paid a full-time wage,
Yeah.
that'd be about $2,000 a fortnight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
True.
I guess you could choose to just do whatever you wanted
Yeah,
over
yeah,
that
yeah.
period.
Do nothing. Choose to do nothing.
Do the podcast.
Supercoach.
Super professional super coach.
Podcast would be awesome though.
Oh, it would, the setup would be insane. Now, Kody, your love and your hate this week, please.
All right, my love this week, and it's going to come across a little hostile. And I don't mean it in that sense, but we've all got someone who posts too many Instagram stories, and I've been muting people left, right, and center over the last couple of weeks. And this again could be a bit of a user issue. Maybe I'm just spending too much time on Instagram in general, and I need to not do that. But people are annoying, and
I like
I'm
it.
muting you.
I like it, and I didn't know that it was a thing. And
Yeah,
I think it's going to be part of my repertoire.
Yeah,
When-
you can literally, I think you can just hold down on their story, like their little bubble at the top.
Yeah.
You can just hold down and just click mute.
Well, when you said that, I went, "How do you do that?" Because funnily enough, I was looking at someone's stories that I was like, "Why am I looking at this? This is horrible."
Yeah.
They always post the worst. They post heaps, and they're just like not very good.
That's like, I'll be happy to, give you a photo with your girlfriend to like when you post once every 3 months, but I don't need to see your bacon and eggs. You know what I mean?
Every day. Sure.
So that's me. That's my love this week. And my hate this week. So, out of 1-3 household, not a lot gets done. If there's an issue, it usually takes like a few months for it to be resolved. Based on the fact that it usually takes me to get annoyed at it before something changes.
Right.
There's a hole in our red bin. Like the bottom of our bin has a hole in it. And there's a rat that's been living up the back of our house. I assume because our rubbish is all over the place up there.
Yeah.
So it's coming in the bottom of our bin, eating up. I don't know what rats do with rubbish. I guess they eat the scraps.
They eat it. Yeah.
But this rat, because
He goes taste testing, mate. He's finding new combinations
Yeah,
when he
yes.
opens a
Yeah,
small
true.
pop-up cafe.
EJ's dinner.
Yeah, exactly. We come in and out that back gate a lot, and that thing scares the shit out of you every
So
time.
you can hear it.
Yeah, because like you'll open the back gate and you'll just hear it scurry off, and you're like, oh my god.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not.
Rats are gross.
They're
They are.
suck.
They are chat.
And I've a little story about a rat when I was younger. Wilson, podcast listener, will remember this. I used to do drumming practice with Wilson. We were playing handball out the front of his when we were about 8 years old, and waiting for Mum to take us. And we saw a rat running up a tree, and I ran over and grabbed it. Don't ask me why. Held it and was like, "Oh, Wilson, check this out." Showed him. Rat bit my finger. Threw it away, and obviously it had to go and get tetanus and stuff.
What the
but
fuck? That's
I
so
don't know
rogue.
what,
How did you catch a rat? They're fast as.
It was
That's
running
kind of
up a
impressive.
tree, and I just went, and I was like, "Wilson, check it." And I was showing him, and then it bit my hand. And I threw it out, and then I was in a bit of pain, so I went in to get a Band-Aid. We didn't know. We're 8. Didn't
Yeah.
know about tetanus and all that.
Obviously, yeah.
And so she's like Wilson's mum was like, what happened to your hand? I was like, rat. Rat bit it. And she's like, is that real?
Is that a
is
joke
that actually
or
what
no?
happened? I was like, yeah. And she's like, you need to go to the doctor now.
That's so cool. That's kind of impressive that
Very
you made.
8-year-old thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a rat.
Yeah,
Please pick it up. Oh goodness me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice. That was a good one too.
Your love and hate.
My love and hate. Love is board games.
We actually said the same thing.
We actually did say the same love, and then Kody let me keep my one, which was very kind. We were going to share. So board games. Got a Catan board. Got my very own Catan board now at home.
How good.
So I'm stoked on that. And then also so my brother and his boyfriend, we're living in the same apartment at the moment.
Oh, is Joey living with you now?
Yeah.
Did he just move in? I thought he was at your mum.
It was a couple of weeks ago, no. So we've been a couple of weeks staying there. And we were G'ing up the other week Monopoly, because we were talking about Catan, and then we were saying, oh, it would be cool to play a game of Monopoly as well. Played a couple games of Monopoly. Joseph, a very smug winner after winning. He got lucky. There was no luck shared across the board, but, we won't get into it. He still won.
On getting Mayfair. Do you buy Mayfair straight away if you land on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you buy Mayfair.
Yeah,
You buy
dude.
Mayfair.
Yeah,
He did.
fair.
He got Mayfair,
But
actually,
you get
funnily
so
enough.
lucky because sometimes you buy Mayfair and no one lands on it.
I-
And it's
Listen,
your only thing.
listen. Look, he won fair and square in that game. All I'll say is this. I paid more income tax in that game than I have in real life. I'll be completely honest with you.
I reckon that the railways are the go-to.
Smoky,
If you
good.
Which
can
ones
get-
are they? Are they the middle ones?
Middles. If
To-
you can get
yeah.
all 4,
Yeah.
mate, you are laughing.
To be fair, I had to do a couple trades to try to stay in the game, which weren't bad, but you know, I was a bit rusty on Monopoly, so I'm kind of keen to play again, and I might even try and play tonight because I want some honor restored to my name.
I heard down at Flora Street the other day that there's a Catan leaderboard, and you guys have been playing for like a year and a half.
Yeah, there
And
is. That's
you
correct.
Just got your first win like a couple.
No,
weeks
see that's
Oh.
misleading information.
Oopsie.
No, hold on.
ago. Would you like to make an official statement?
Yeah. Couple things. Firstly, my first, because there was some wins before the Catan leaderboard or a win, but that wasn't counted. Okay, I've also probably got the most second places in Catan history.
No one cares about second place.
No, but I'm just saying, if we were playing points per game, I would be the highest ranked player.
PPG.
If we were playing
Average PPG.
PPG,
If you're talking value for money.
yeah, I would be the best. Okay, and then now I've won a couple games. I think I'm third on the leaderboard. Katie's the top. Katie's won a lot of games.
If we're just looking at this leaderboard that I'm looking at, Zen, I'm running my eye, and it's wins only
wins only, I'm third.
on 1.
No, on 3.
I thought you were on 1.
No.
Lately, he's had a bit.
See,
he's had a run of form. See,
Everyone wants to talk garbage, mate. When I'm not bad. Ed's second. Katie's
Katie's
first.
The thing
Katie's
is, though,
first.
Katie and Ed have played every single game. So they've played. I've won 1. I've played 4 times. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Katie and Ed have played bountiful times. Man.
Your win percentage.
We're
potentially
talking
the
about
highest.
yeah, exactly.
No, Ryan's is 1 from 1.
I wasn't there though.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. So.
Yeah. To be fair, the one game I saw you win, Ed could have stopped you from winning like halfway through the game, and it just worked well for Ed. Like he could have stopped you playing. It wasn't right.
Loser mentality.
It wasn't right.
Loser mentality.
It wasn't right. Anyway, let's not get carried away because we could dribble about Catan. And I have to get to my hate because we have to get to the back page at some point. My hate. Okay, streaming services, Binge, KO. Who else had it? Someone else had an ad on there. Optus Sport as well. They play ads. In the streaming. Why? What's the point of paying for KO and all that? Why pay for it if you end up having to watch ads anyway? That's the whole point. Is you don't want to watch any ads. And
Did
it's
Foxtel have ads on Foxtel?
yeah,
Yeah.
but on Binge now, on Binge in between videos they have an ad. Like I reckon that's so not on.
That is rogue.
That is rogue. That is not on in my
I
opinion.
can see in KO when there's like a
KO, I
break
understand.
in like a halftime break.
Yeah.
Right? There's 20 minutes of nothing anyway.
Yeah.
Like throwing an ad in.
But they still sneak them in elsewhere as
yeah.
well.
But
But they say ad free.
Yeah, it's not.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. Netflix has ads, but it's a cheaper service, so you can pay a lesser
Right.
amount, and that makes sense. But Binge, not on.
But it's like Spotify.
More-
It's like I pay for Spotify because I want no ads, and if I want Spotify,
Mate, it's
basic,
ludicrous.
It's
It's-
more
it's
reason
out of
to hate
control.
Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
it's out of control. It's absolutely out of control, and it's not on. What's the point of paying? Happened with Optus Sport the other day. I went to go watch something, and they played an ad before, and I was like, well, I might as. But it's like I might as well just watch it on YouTube if I'm gonna have to watch an ad. Like that's part of the service, part of the premium service is that you don't have to watch ads.
YouTube is one of the platforms though that I don't know why, but I would never pay for it.
Never.
I would never
What's the point?
ever pay for the YouTube where you get it's like $10 but you get no ads. I watch YouTube non-stop.
Yeah.
YouTube would be my most viewed.
I had to delete it off my phone because I felt like I was watching too much YouTube. I deleted the app. I also deleted Facebook app off my phone.
You're right though.
And
I'd never
TikTok.
pay
Yeah,
for it.
I don't know. I think it's because I've had it for so long without paying. Whereas Netflix, it's like I paid $10.
Yeah, whatever.
This is part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose because it's like the quality, maybe. Like you're paying for legitimate.
Yeah.
Well,
YouTube also has legit stuff on it.
I feel like if you're paying for it, you're under the pretense that there's going to be no ads. I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, anyway, I find it annoying. I hope people agree. It's a pain in the ass.
yeah, we'll try not to tangent too much. All right, back page.
BP.
Some Rugby League coming at you. I suppose we start with the Easter Monday. It's fresh in the mind. Weird day, the Easter Monday game.
Yeah.
It gives you a game to watch on.
Yeah, it gives you something
on
to
your
do.
day off.
Yeah, I get it. I more meant the actual proceeding of yesterday's events was a bit bizarre.
Yeah, I agree.
It felt just had a bit of a weird vibe about it. I think the two injuries soured it. Any ACL injury is always going to like sour
the game.
Granted, I didn't watch the Knights Warriors game, but Jaden Brayley also, along with Adam Dewey, did his ACL out for the season. Heartbreaking stuff, I think.
Especially for the Tigers, it's someone, they rely on very heavily.
I don't know. I don't even think about it like that. I always just think about from the player.
Yeah.
Like
awful.
He's got to put his head down now for 12 months. Just 12 months of recovery.
Toiling.
And mate, you sitting in a bed for a week, you're probably going crazy. Like,
yeah,
think about a player like with his mates in the morning. They're like, all right, we're going to go hit the field. And he's like, oh, yeah, cool. I'll just go and hit the pool for the 50th day in a row.
Yeah. And when it's your job as well, that's your life.
Yeah.
That's your entire life for the next 12 months.
It's all you think about.
Yeah.
It's all you think about. So, mate, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Parramatta get the win. Tigers actually showed a bit of glimmer of like that they are a rugby league team and they go to training during the week, which was nice. Yeah.
Charlie Staines at fullback played pretty good.
Had a good game.
Killed it.
Played pretty good.
Had a good game.
Unfortunate that he made that small error at the end. But again, before that try was scored, they did concede 22 points. So it's not all that you can't the blame can't be shifted on him.
I reckon as well, overlooked how good the play was from Gutho to kick long though, considering they'd done 3 or 4 short kicks, and he teed up for a short kick and told all the boys like, yeah, get ready, and then just went long. Yeah, and like he wouldn't have been. He was caught off guard. Yeah.
And they say and they're trying to get rid of Gutho, trying to move Gutho around.
Yeah, it was a great kick. He's on 50 on the fly. Like, on the
to the corner,
a meter from going out.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great kick.
I don't think anyone was salty towards Charlie.
No,
that just kind of happened.
Yeah,
it's just sad. You look at it, oh damn it, they were just on the attack.
It's tough.
Would have been, and as a casual fan, like an unbiased viewer, you almost want to see the Tigers have an attacking set.
Yeah,
down by a try, So.
It was good to see. It was good to see them play with a bit of ticker. Really,
he had a good game yesterday.
Who?
Luke Brooks
had
a great game.
Agreed.
Yesterday.
Did
he? Yeah, one of the best games I've seen him play in memory, which isn't saying much, but
one of the better games.
That was a bit of a backhand sandwich.
Yeah.
If he's listening,
you really let Brooksy have it. Yeah. To be fair, you haven't really unleashed on Brooksy that much, so that's
I never will. I don't like to unleash on my own players, mate.
Yeah.
I don't like
next game, Warriors Knights. Two teams that had pretty epic games last week. The Knights in a 32-32 draw, and the Warriors played an awesome comeback win. They then versed each other up at Newcastle.
Knights have been good.
Greg Marju, again, freak.
Another 100.
Another 100 for the Kody Supercoach team, and another couple tries from in real life. The bloke is an animal. I cannot understand why the Titans ever let him go. It's just silly. It's just silly business from the Titans. But look, they're doing okay. But the Knights are much better for it. And the Knights with some injuries. They got. Tyson Gamble, not the most important player for them, but still injured at the 6. You got Ponga out, who's pretty pivotal. You've also got Adam Elliott, new signing from the Raiders, who was amazing last year for them.
Well, KP's apparently back. Is it weeks? I think he's back around 8, so he's a week away. He's a week or 2 away. He might be back this week because Gamble's injured. I don't know.
We'll see. Phoenix Crossland, though, played not bad.
Well, he's got to play hooker, I assume, for Brayley.
Yeah, Kurt Mann
plays there.
Yeah, Kurt Mann's got his own concussion issues.
Did he get concussed on the weekend?
He's been concussed twice this year, I think, already.
Goodness me, lads. I'm worried about KP going back to 6. I already bloody drilled that thing into the ground.
He's too good at fullback as well.
I know.
He's too good.
I know.
Get him in fullback.
Yeah, and just the risk of concussion
at
6.
Like on top of, exactly. Like that is the main reason.
But if he's already been concussed that much at 1.
But what, he was playing 6 when he got concussed.
Yeah.
Just most recently, right?
But that's what I'm saying. That's your argument is like he's been concussed that much at 1. What's the difference of him playing at 6? It's like, well, now he has to make 4 times the amount of tackles.
Yeah, so more than that. Dude, fullbacks make like 3 tackles again.
Yeah, true. Following on from that game, we had the Titans versus the Red V, the mighty St. George Illawarra Dragons.
Great game.
This was actually a great game, even though the Dragons lost, which wasn't ideal. The Titans playing with a bit of a reshifted spine with, the sex bomb, Toby Sexton in at 6, Tanner Boyd, and then they had Jaden Campbell at 1, and then I forgot who was playing 9.
Chris Randall.
Chris Randall was playing 9, was was he?
Jaden Campbell
It's a bit
is
weird.
unreal.
He's so good.
He is so good.
He's so quick.
Yeah.
He spots gaps
He's
and he
like
hits him.
He's electric.
he's what Dane Laurie we thought Dane Laurie was going to be, I think. Like for what Jaden Campbell lacks with size, he makes up for taking every high ball.
He's very skillful.
He's very skillful, like just off the cuff sort of like X factor. I think if I'm a Titans fan, I want Campbell at 1. I want Brimson at 6.
Yeah,
I agree.
Kieran.
Foz at 7.
Kieran Foran's probably a great leader for the team and a great mature head, an old head to be around the team. But I just don't think, in terms of
I just put him at 7. I put him
in
at
terms
7.
of that. But Tanner Boyd's got like combinations, like played with kind of those players, and Tanner Boyd's goal kicking, mate. How many games are decided by kicks? This game was decided by kicks. It was decided by 2 points. If you don't have the comp's best goal kicker, do you win that game? That's something to consider.
You can have Jaden Campbell. Do you win that game? You're even in that game if you don't
Well,
have Jaden Campbell.
exactly. So maybe they should both be in the team.
No, it's
I don't know.
food
I
for
just think
thought.
Kieran Foran's. He's we love Kieran Foran, but he is getting to the back end of his career,
Yeah.
respectfully.
Be interesting to see what they do because I think Brimo and Foran are back.
Yep. In the next 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks, yeah. So that'll be interesting. I think did Benny Hunt, I didn't watch the end of the game, and I hate to call it out, but he had a great game. Otherwise, did he make an error or something towards the end?
Yeah, he
Was
dropped
he
it.
the one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He dropped it.
Devo.
And to be honest, yeah, they probably could have won. They had a sin bidding as well for the stupidest tackle.
I don't think the drop
Francis
though was
Molo.
like. It was like the drop meant that they didn't have a chance to get a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, they were really attacking and it was
Yeah,
looking like
okay.
they were going to go over.
Yeah.
Like it was just, yeah.
Then we had. This is the most Raiders win. They beat the top team. They beat the Broncos. The Raiders they just play kind of weird, tough footy with heaps of forwards.
I thought they were hot. I thought they were good.
Who?
The Raiders.
Yeah, they were good, but they always upset big teams. They just have a style of footy that just seems to kind of go up against these bigger teams well.
Yeah.
Because they just get into a grind.
Yeah. Well, Blav was telling me Corey Horsburgh played 13.
Yeah.
He played 80 minutes as a ball-playing lock, and it worked really well for them.
Yeah. Well, Adam Blair was that for them last year.
Adam Elliott.
Adam Elliott, my bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah, he's been sick. He's been absolutely sick this year.
I don't know. There's something about the Raiders. They all sort of look the same.
They're all just
look,
massive.
Yeah.
Everyone in that team is huge.
They just
Yeah.
look
I don't
like the
think-
same person.
I don't
Even
think
Jamal
Tarpany
Fogarty.
played.
Yeah, Tarpany didn't play.
Wow.
Even Jamal Fogarty and Jack Whiten are pretty big
Yeah.
for halves.
Yeah, Whiten's huge.
Whiten's
Whiten's
bigger
massive.
than most
He's
forwards.
actually huge.
And the Broncos lost. Jeez, you do love to see it just quietly.
Should probably preface this next game by saying Tully's in probably the second most unbearable Manly fan that I know.
Yeah, after Ed.
Just behind Ed.
Yeah, just after Ed.
So we've had you on a good week this week.
Yeah. What do
Pups,
you make of? You can do the analysis of this one. What do you make of this Panthers Seagulls game?
Yeah, the refs were just.
Oh,
Mate, we were on top. We were on top from the get go, and then No, look. To be honest, Manly first half looked absolute pus. Like, and
It was
Panthers,
grim.
to their credit, absolutely looked like two years ago Panthers.
They've clicked into gear.
They
Yes.
were on fire. They were just too quick. Like the first half, they were playing the ball, and the entire line was running back to get to get onside.
Yeah.
And they just absolutely rolled us. KO Weeks, poor bugger, got moved in to 6 for the first time, which was like an interesting call because Des sort of was always stuck to the same team no matter what. And so Seabold's gone, nah, KO Weeks played well last week, let's put him in. And then at the halftime, they moved him out, put Cooper Johns back, and
Right.
I think we won the second half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe drew the second half. But
Cooper Johns has been pretty good for
Cooper
Manly when
Johns,
he's played.
I think the problem was it was like we tried it, unfortunately, against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And
Because KOX is a footballer, by all reports.
Yeah.
yeah, but
He's been
I don't
good
know
off
if
the
that
bench.
was. I don't think that necessarily was the main component. I think the Panthers just rolled us, but I do think that we definitely had a lot to go. I think Morgan Harper and Saab are two incredibly average footballers, and I think that both of them need to get the flick. personally.
They're not known for their defense.
No, and when they're on the same side, it's hard.
That one game where Talakai, got pretty much Talakai played so good, or Morgan Harper played so bad that then Morgan Harper played reserve grade for 5 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you know who else can't defend respectfully? Kelma Tuolangi.
Yes, dude. Did you see the first try?
Yeah, that was bad.
It was like it wasn't even a step.
Yeah.
It was like he just moved to the right a little bit, and Tuolangi just fell over.
Yeah.
And there was a hole, and he just went.
I had one of my mates message me last year asking if Tuolangi was a good signing for Manly, and I was like, mate, I'll put it this way: he had lots of promise coming through, but he was like our worst forward last year.
Yeah. Well, if you look at Manly's signings recently, there's not much to.
Well, they've got Aaron Woods to
smile about.
come out.
Yeah.
Mate, that was the worst trade I've
Do you think
ever
they
seen.
should consider moving like Brad Parker over to Saab's side?
Yes.
No, but they have Cooler there though.
Yeah, Cooler is a good defender. I think Cooler and Parker are both good enough in their own right. And Cooler and Saab are both absolute speedsters. But I just think that Saab, for being would be one of the tallest players in the comp, can't catch a ball. He can't defend. He's always out of place. He's just
It's interesting. Manly, they had Tupolotu, then Tupolotu kind of dropped off a little. Hasn't been in as good form as he was last year.
Yeah.
Because last year Tupolotu was one of the better players for Manly, and then Saab's come back, so they give him a crack. So we'll see what happens in the battle for that wing position.
Is injured, I think, till round 12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last week against the Knights didn't bode well either. I thought Manly played pretty average.
Yeah. Well, he was on that
defense.
side where Greg Margie scored 3 tries. So.
And so I think
that's why
Manly has a bit of work to do.
Yeah, a little bit. It's funny now that they started so good and now they've lost a couple of games and everyone's going, hold on.
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe we had the rose-coloured glasses on.
It's still the year of the bird, though.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Are they still? I thought you said they were going to go undefeated this year. After you watching you, that is an actual quote. That is an actual quote from you.
Said they'll go undefeated with the asterisk that the refs aren't on the other team's side. And as the last 2 games.
Oh, that is dribble.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Now,
the fish keep swimming.
The fish keep swimming. Go the Dolphins. I actually met a genuine Dolphins fan, and has a better reason to go for the Dolphins than we do to go for any of our teams.
Why? He's from Redcliffe.
No, his family's from Redcliffe, and when he was a kid, he used to go up there and spend summers there and holidays with the family and go to the rugby league club next to the stadium that overlooks it, get lunch, etc.
What was his rugby league relation before being a Dolphins fan?
He just went for the Sharks or something.
Yeah, okay.
And then now he's like, oh well, because I think his family's also from Cronulla or something.
Yeah,
but now the Dolphins there, so he's an actual legit Dolphins fan.
Maybe in the same way that we're trying to get into AFL this year, he's using. I imagine fans would use the Dolphins coming in as an excuse to
go for NRL.
Yeah,
but alas, finally made a legit Dolphins fan, which was cool.
This win, shout out to your mate, the Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
Hope he was happy. Shocked me.
It shocked me a little bit as well because we watched this and we were talking beforehand, and I was saying I thought North Queensland, was gonna do one.
Scotty drink back.
Well, they were all on top of them at the start, and then the Dolphins, mate, the second half they were on fire.
So did Katoa play 7 and Nicarima played 6?
Yep.
And is he out now, Nicarima? Did he get injured or something?
Yeah. No, suspended.
Yeah.
Oh,
concussed?
Yeah.
Something.
He did a double. He spear tackled someone and then he also got injured.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a hectic injury.
I would
No.
It's a couple of weeks.
I don't know how to tip the Dolphins or the Cowboys after that game. I don't know where to look at.
That
Where
is
are
such.
the Cowboys? Where
The
are
Cowboys
they
are
this year?
about
What is happening?
14th or something right now.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You probably have them in the kind of the way they've gone this year. If you put last year aside, you'd put them in the sort of Raiders bracket. I think at this stage, the Cowboys.
Yeah,
That's sort of the Raiders, Titans, Dragons bracket.
They've kind of just not started the season anywhere near the expectation that many thought they would.
Still
but they
got
have had a lot of injuries and suspensions. However, they're a team. Well, that could bode well for them because that means they've also lost Tom Gilbert and Hammer played for them last year. Now they're at the Dolphins.
Tom Gilbert's big loss.
But look, maybe that kind of bodes well for them through Origin period because if some of the people like Ruben Cotter don't get picked in the Queensland team with a bit more competition in those areas this year for places, that could be that Well, you'd think so, but it could. That Origin period could bode well because they'll be not missing too many players. You'd imagine, and they'll be able to come back in and find some form.
Yep. The Bunnies absolutely.
Look,
pounced on
we
Bulldogs.
have been saying for weeks that the Bunnies are waiting to not verse one of the
Did we
best.
say that on air last week?
I think we have.
I hope we.
I
did.
think we have.
Just claim it.
I think
Yeah,
we've said it before, but if not, we've definitely talked about it. You know,
We said it was
behind
due
closed doors.
because we both captained South players in Supercoach.
Yeah,
so
but
we put our money where our mouth is.
in general, they have been versing the best teams in the comp. They've been losing not by much in most games. They have been due for an absolute monster win, and it came. Latrell, Kody Walker, pretty much all their big players played well. You know, and there was a bit of resistance from the Bulldogs, and I know they had a couple. They've had their own injuries going on. Then they also had a couple sin bins, but the Rabbitohs still trotted.
Yeah. It was like schoolyard footy, though.
Yeah.
It was toward the end, they were just getting tries.
They were just doing stupid stuff, but it was sick.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Fox, was it
big one.
syndesmosis? They said it.
Yeah.
Was that what they came out and said
Yeah.
it was? Which is very unfortunate. Brian To'o and Xavier Coates both had that last year from memory.
What
Do you
is
remember?
syndesmosis? Is it?
It's like a high ankle sprain, I
Right.
think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right?
Yeah, I thought it was, by the look of it, I thought it was going to be a knee injury.
Mm.
But it looked pretty nasty. They were complaining. I heard someone was telling me that, because was it a core?
Yeah.
So a core was where Harry Styles played, right? And because there was people dancing, obviously, all over there, they had to relay the whole turf. And so the turf is like really easy to
Churning
rip up.
Yeah. Right.
And so they're trying to be like, well, you know, it's not safe to actually play
No.
on if you try and change the rest.
Yeah.
Also, another reason to tear down ANZ/Acor Stadium just
The worst
quietly.
stadium in
The
Australia.
worst stadium in Australia. Now,
And also Melbourne beat Roosters.
yes, well, that was what I was getting to. So,
Oh, sorry. I thought you had to jump forward. Might be.
no. So, Storm Roosters, look. Okay. The Storm, we also said this last week, similar to the Panthers, starting to click in a gear. Some people would go, oh, they've had a pretty slow start to the year. I think they're tying second. So, that's just classic Storm.
Yeah.
Nick Meaney got injured during the game, had to go off, which is unfortunate. However, who's there? Cam Munster's there, playing fullback. And then they have Prezzett sitting on the bench. Or that. He didn't play, but he'll play this week. But the Storm just clicked into gear nicely. You know, the game was set up initially in the first, 20, 25 minutes. This is going to be a close affair, It's 8-6. I'll pinpoint it to this. Victor Radley throws a, suspect forward pass, gets annoyed that it gets called, then tries to change the game by putting pressure on, gives away a 6 again, and then, Munster's passing the ball, puts a late hit on Munster, then gets sin-binned. And it was a very late hit. And it was just like, you're watching that. If you're a Roosters fan watching that, you'd be going, surely not again. And it's like, Victor Radley's like an awesome player, but how many times does he seem to do this? And then cost a team a game potentially. Yeah. Because look, then they scored. They scored 2 tries immediately after that happened.
I saw an article this week that said Victor Radley is a victim of his own name. And I thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Mate, Victor Radley is not a victim of his own name. Victor Radley's an idiot. Respectfully.
Yeah.
He keeps... You're exactly
Tell him how
right.
you really feel, mate.
Mate, he does this shit every week.
Yeah.
It's like he... Oh, mate,
I saw there was
he's such an emotional player. It just costs him. And it's like, dude, stop.
There was a stat
Yeah.
that was in his 100 games or whatever. He's been sin-binned 7 times, and every single time he's been sin-binned, they've lost.
Yeah.
It's like...
And
you're
he
right.
did it in the Rabbitohs, the final against the Rabbitohs last year. Got sin-binned twice in the game. I mean, he's not the sole... I mean, so did like 4 or 5 other people. But... Like, he got sin-binned twice in one game for that one.
Yeah, like you're so right. He is so critical to that Roosters team.
Like, he's your lock. He's the lock
He's
in
your
that team.
guy, bro. He's a spine player in essence, and for him to just constantly be like in and out of the team with suspensions, and you don't know like what he's going to do, sort of thing, which is, and everyone keeps saying, oh, I want to see Victor be Victor. I want to see Victor stay on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tone it back, bruh.
Yeah. Because there's players that can be physical and walk the line, but they don't,
Yeah. Like,
They don't have
you
to
could
go
say
off.
the same about Latrell. Like, he's an emotional player,
Yeah.
but he doesn't let it get in the way of his footy.
No.
So, I don't know. Something's got to change there, I think.
Not saying that, like, yeah. Anyway, we'd love to see Victor come good. But you had a good point about a certain Roosters player that we both really like.
Yeah,
this week.
I've just been thinking about this week a lot. Look, basically, if Joey Manu doesn't leave the Roosters, he'll never realise his potential. And that's not to say that he's not realising his potential now. Like, last year we saw that on his day at fullback, he is absolutely one of the best players in the competition, hands down.
He was one of the best in the comp last year, for sure.
And everyone can see that. You know, it's not to say we're not realising how good Joey Manu is, but we will never put him in the same calibre of player as, like, Latrell Mitchell, for example, if he doesn't leave the Roosters and go and play fullback somewhere else.
That is fair.
Because they're not going to shaft Tedesco.
No.
He's still got 4 years in him, bro.
Yeah, and then after that, like, it's not like the Roosters. I don't imagine the Roosters then go and get rid of him.
Yeah,
you know,
like
they haven't moved on Luke Keary yet, so I'm not convinced they'd move on Tedesco after 4 years.
Yeah, they won't. Why you don't move on? So you don't move on your club captain like that. It's not something the Roosters would do.
No,
you'd be silly to do that.
You would be silly to do that.
Joey Manu at some stage, in my opinion, has got to get up and go elsewhere. Like, imagine Joey Manu's at the Eels right now. I know they've got Gutho. I'm just saying as an example. Imagine he's at a club
like the Tigers.
No, not the Tigers. Yeah, dude. The Tigers should give Joey Manu $2 million.
Yeah,
he should play centre for Manly.
Yeah, fuck
really show his potential.
Yeah.
Playing alongside Simon.
To be fair though, the Tigers are definitely. If there was a player, a Joe Manu right now would be awesome for them.
I'd give him $2 million. I'd give him $2 million.
Where would you play him? 6 or fullback?
Fullback.
You play him fullback.
Yeah. You can be more influential at fullback.
Okay.
In my opinion.
All right.
Looking at Kellen Ponga, mate. Get back there.
Yeah.
Not what he's doing. So I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just think he's. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
I
not
know
the
what you're
sa-
saying.
Like, we realise where he's at, but he will never be in that.
He could be next tier because in the World Cup as well, he tore up. He absolutely tore up for New
I
Zealand
reckon
at
he'd be a
fullback.
top 5 fullback if he was playing fullback.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think he would because when he does play, even when he plays 6, he is awesome.
And he's the only one that if the Eels they're like, oh, we're going to get rid of Gutho. I'm like, if you're not going for Joey Manu, shut up. Like, he's the only player that's going to be better than Gutho that's not already a fullback at a good club.
Because to be fair, him and Gutho are like, I'm not going to say they're the same or similar, but there's elements. They both handle the ball. They both do a bit of kicking.
Yeah.
They both do a bit of. They kind of do and defensively really good.
Yeah.
They kind of do a lot in the game.
Yeah.
It's not like a Turbo where Turbo just kind of like pops up, and makes a line break, or similar to Teddy in that fact. Although Teddy does do a bit.
Yeah.
But they're very hands-on.
Yeah.
Very hands-on.
Yeah, Turbo might not be the best example. He has a few carries. More like Latrell. Like, Latrell kind of pops up where he's needed, but you're like, at least if Joey Manu and Gutho do nothing, they're gonna organise a defensive line. They're not gonna make an error.
They'll probably run
And they're gonna have
200
20
meters.
carries. Yeah. So
True.
anyway, hope he leaves. Come to the Tigers, mate.
Now, a bit of football, just because they've all come back from the international break. Now, we're just going to stick to the Prem at the moment. But, title race, alive. Arsenal drew with Liverpool. So they're now 6 ahead. But, City have a game in hand. So they could be 3 behind theoretically. Yeah. And then Arsenal are versing City in 3 games' time.
How many games left? Still like 7.
And there's 8 games left. So they could be tied on points if, things go City's way. They could be tied on points and then we would have a legitimate, serious finish. Because it would be off goal difference at that point.
And they were lucky to get away with that draw.
Yeah. Yeah. Liverpool, quality team.
Did you see the final moments? Ramsdale made 2 incredible saves with less than 5 minutes to go.
But it's that kind of luck where someone does something brilliant like that can, win your title. Like when Company hit that long shot. Yeah. Come on. Are you joking? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah. Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
I'm not a fan of football.
He hits this he would never shoot a shot in his life. It's like a centre back captain, his final year with the club. And he literally scores this goal from about 35 metres out and it wins them or draws them the game. Yeah. And then they win the title.
Yeah, right.
So
You'll have to
insane.
show me after.
Yeah,
And apparently everyone around him was screaming, "Don't shoot!"
yeah.
All the other players going, "Don't shoot, don't shoot!" And he's like, "You know what? I'm the captain. I'm gonna hit this."
And he bombs it, and it's the best
So-
shot.
Oh,
Alpha.
such a good goal.
Yeah. And then also, just the Prem this year has just been great in my opinion. You got plenty of storylines happening. European places are super competitive for that 4 spot for Champions League, and then you've got your Europa League spots, which are, tense. There's a lot of teams in and around.
Yeah.
You got Chelsea and Tottenham going through managers left, right, and centre. Like, what is going on? Then you've got teams like Aston Villa who've kind of just smokied their way up the ladder. Same with Brighton. Could be playing European football next year.
How are Aston Villa going? Because I decided they're my team of choice.
They're actually doing all right.
Based off. Do you guys ever play Sportshead Soccer?
No.
No.
It was a classic Sydney High
Okay.
game to play,
Nice.
and it was alphabetical order teams.
Oh.
Aston Villa, first team.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Aston Villa, I call them.
Aston
it's the
Villa.
French,
Yeah,
French way of
righto.
pronouncing it.
So, but they're doing pretty good at the moment as well. They've been in some good touch, and then the race for relegation is honestly as tight as I can remember. The race for relegation is honestly. I'll get it up. I was having a look yesterday, and I was shocked. I forgot how close it was.
So you got EPL live but not NRL live.
Yep.
That's truly bizarre.
Okay, so from 12th to 20th, there's 10 points difference,
Crazy.
and there's a win between quite a few teams in between there, dropping out and going in and out of relegation, and some of them are teams like Everton, Leicester, Leeds, West Ham, some teams with some pretty serious history in the Prem. So, look, it's all happening. Stay tuned to it. Another competition that is entering its final stages. You got the NBA, the playoffs and play-in tournaments are upon us. Pumped for this. There's also been a really close finish for some positions in the West.
Yeah, West has been super tight.
West has been super tight.
Like the entire year though, they've basically been from 4th place till 10th place has just been flip-flopping.
Yeah. And, the Dallas Mavericks, who were at one point 4th, dropping out of the playoffs. Luka and
huge.
Kyrie, which is massive. Luka and Kyrie dropping out. But you know what it means? Aussie Josh Giddey is going to be in the playoffs with OKC. How good is that? Are you beauty?
Yes, sir.
Are you beauty? How good? So we're pumped about that. Good to see him in the playoffs. The young fella.
Yeah.
He has had an awesome year as well
Great year.
with OKC. And you got a couple of Aussies. You got Jock Landale in with the Phoenix Suns. You got Paddy Mills in with the Nets. And I think Ben Simmons is still out. So I think he played like the first third of the year and is now not playing.
Where is he?
Who knows, mate? Who knows? Any predictions? You don't mind a bit of NBA?
Yeah, I used to follow it super closely. I keep my eye on it now. Look, I think the Bucks sort of as a massive favorite, I would tend to say. I'm a Golden State fan, and I think Golden State are one of those teams you can actually never count out with Steph Curry. and Klay Thompson.
100%.
They've had a decent year, but
Draymond.
yeah, Draymond, as per Jordan Poole, starting to actually play pretty well toward the end of the season. Yeah, look, if I was to pick one, I'd say the Bucks. I've got my better $1,000
Your better account.
bet on
Lovely.
on the Warriors, so I'm hoping for the Warriors to go through.
What do you have?
Did you get better when they first started? They had this thing where it was $10 and it was 101 to 1 odds for like all these different things.
Is that the World
No,
Cup?
I
as
never
well?
did
World
it.
Cup.
I never
I
did
got
it.
that
France.
somehow.
I got France. Got that.
Nice.
And then so I had all my money on France and did a $500 bet on Argentina in the final. So I managed to get about a $500 profit.
Nice.
And then I've got Roosters to win the comp. So if Roosters win, off a $10 bet I get 1,000, and then
Nice.
Golden State. So I'm back in Golden State through and through.
This is the thing, though. I reckon there could be a sneaky upset in the West just because there's so many teams. Like I could see a team like the Clippers because of Kawhi
Yeah.
is such a beast come playoff time.
I
Who
don't-
knows what they could do, especially
don't-
having Russ and PG.
I reckon there's not a team that you could pinpoint to be the winner. Like,
No.
and like,
Even in the East, there's a couple
yeah,
of good teams.
I
too.
appreciate that there's 7 games per playoff series as well, because obviously, a one-off usually, you can have teams that win a random game here and there, but I reckon it'll be a good test of like who actually is the best under these clutch moments.
And let's not forget as well, Phoenix Suns have Durant, KD.
Yeah.
So that team is just absolutely crazy good. And if you
Yeah.
verse them, you'd just be going. You just be hoping they have a bad night.
It's just
with
a
the
super
shooting.
team. It's just unfair.
Yeah, it's
KD
crazy.
loves to just go to whichever team has the best players.
Whichever can have him. And that team is awesome. So we'll see. Lakers also ended up making it. They came 7th. So I was happy that they made it. I do quite like LeBron. Well covered.
Yep.
So I was happy to see them. I'm interested to see how they go and if they can go deep into the tournament. But it should be an interesting time if you like your NBA. Stay peeled. Okay, so we'll wrap this up. Cody's just done a big yawn.
Oh, I did. I'm rattled.
Yeah, I've just seen that out of the corner of my eye. Let's do some music now. Kody, song this week, please.
As covered earlier in the app, friend of the show, roommate Kane of Cane Toad and Half Cut fame, released his first EP this week. Been an absolute hit amongst our friends. So
Absolutely.
far. Great reception. Floor 5.
Absolute tracks involved on this one.
Good reception elsewhere as well. A lot of musicians who we don't necessarily know have been sharing it. Beatport Instagram page, over 1 million followers, shared it for the release of the week.
Crazy.
That is hectic. That's so awesome.
Huge.
And you know what's funny? We're talking about him, and this is where he does his DJing, in this very room.
Yeah.
That's his decks. That's his vinyls
Yeah,
right
there's
there.
Little creative.
Little creative hub, within this room here. There's a lot doing. There's a lot doing in this room.
Yeah.
But look, guys, that's that. Thank you all for listening. I think a slightly longer ep today, but there was a lot to talk about. A lot happened. Easter long weekend. We had a guest. Thank you very much, the Tully Moffat, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was good fun.
Yes, it was a great time. Great to get a bit of an insight into the making of SPG and how that all goes down. But as per usual, I'm Alexander Russell.
I'm Kody.
I'm Tully.
Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.